Alrighty, hello. I am Dragon Blitz, and this is going to be a commentary for the Sega Saturn Maria Any% speedrun for Castlevania Symphony of the Night. This is a character that is specific to the Sega Saturn version, which is really, really cool. She has very unique movement, very unique spells. Like no other character plays like her. The PSP and PS4 Requiem releases did make their own version of Maria that is very, very different from this. So if you're used to that version of Maria, this one's very different. So the way that she primarily works is that she's kind of a mixture between Alucard and Richter. So she has some Richter movements like double tapping forward to run. She has this like tackle ability similar to Richter's blade dash. But she's also like Alucard, where she has multiple jumps. She also has a dive kick ability, and she has access to some powerful spells. So a combination of movement options like dash kicks and spells is her primary way of movement and doing damage. She also has very powerful like movement options similar to Richter with the uppercut ability. So her route is going to be very, very similar to a Richter route of the run. Which essentially means that she's utilizing the fact that she has all of the movement options available at the start to basically beeline it to the very end of the game and kill the final boss as quick as possible. Here's a cool little movement where you cancel a dive kick into an uppercut mid-air, which I think is really, really nice. Another thing that's interesting to note about her uppercut is that it has this very harsh diagonal angle that you have available to you, and you can actually manipulate that angle by releasing up and forward at a specific time during the animation of the uppercut, which is very, very unique. In fact, the best ways to showcase that that uppercut manipulation is right here, actually. So during this part in the chapel, there's these chapel stairs that go up into the right in the 45-degree angle, and then look at this diagonal gravity jump uppercut over and over and over again, basically parallel to that 45-degree angle. Very, very cool. No other character has movement like that available to them. Another thing that's important to note about Maria is she's actually really tanky. Similar to her movement with Richter, the difference between the two is that Richter is a glass cannon. He only has 50 hit points. He only has 50 health that he has pretty much throughout the entirety of the run unless he grabs life max ups. Maria, on the other hand, starts with 200. So she has 4 times the amount of health that Richter has. Meanwhile, she also has very powerful damaging abilities, like this one right here. This is a spell called 4 Beasts. You have to charge it up by doing a full circle, hold the up direction for about a second and a half, and then press down and attack. It turns you green. It makes you fully invincible. Your body does damage over time to the enemies. Your sub-weapons do more damage, and your martial arts skills do more damage. So all of your kicks, all of your uppercuts, all of your dive kicks even, all of that stuff does extra damage. It's the most overpowered spell I could think of in any Castlevania game, honestly. The balance behind it is that it does cost about 70% of your total magic pool. So because of that, you can't just like spam it, but you could use it and then wait for your magic to refill and then use it again. Especially in a run like this where there aren't that many bosses that you have to fight. We fought Hippogriff. We're going to be fighting one more boss. And then we're going to fight the final boss. So there's only 3 bosses in the entirety of this run because we're just skipping past everything. We're just flying through the game. Ooh. Yeah, that area transition's a little awkward. You have to press up, but you have to be in a very, very specific position. Otherwise, it doesn't work. So, but this warps us into the second castle, where the end of the game is. We then use more dash kicks, dive kicks, uppercuts to quickly move. One thing that's nice about her dash kick is that it's also very powerful. Doing 130 damage to these tombstones. These tombstones also have a high damage resistance, specifically against slash damage, but yeah, because hers is a hit type damage, they don't resist it, and it's 130 damage is a lot for just like a normal kick. More dash kicks, and then slides are also technically faster than dash kicks, but you don't have a lot of space to do those slides. They only work on flat ground, so. Here's yet another spell. This is her Kamehameha, as I like to call it. She charges up the Fire Blast, blasts Medusa, does just enough damage to kill her quickly, whilst leaving me with just enough magic to get through the next section of the run. Because if I did 4 beasts there, I wouldn't have enough magic for this section. Because every time you do an uppercut, it does cost magic. Here I'm doing an out-of-bounds tech that requires that I backdash from a specific point and then hold forward. And it kind of like puts you in the load zone and then back out of the load zone so fast that it warps you out of bounds. And we use this out-of-bounds movement to skip a huge section of the run. And then go back inbounds in a very specific spot with barely just enough magic to make it through. And here's kind of a scary section. You have to do a very precise damage boost here if you want to make it through the fastest way possible. I get it there. If you hit the axe of the Minotaur instead of the Minotaur's body, you get sent the other way, and then you can get comboed into death, and it's really, really bad. This time you do want to get hit by the axe, so you only have so much HP to work with during this section because it does require multiple damage boosts. And then yet another damage boost at the very end. So you essentially use all of your life as a resource in this one area to get through as fast as possible. There are ways to refill your health if you're like about to die and you make a few mistakes, but that does cost time. You have to stop to, Maria has like a healing spell, funny enough. You could just heal your health and it costs like 5 seconds. Or you could stop and grab a life max up that refills your HP to full. And we're pretty much at the end of the game now. All of that movement, all that very, very fast technical movement leads up to this point. Where we then activate this cutscene right here, which opens up the end of the game. In order for the game to be completable as Maria, the devs gave Maria all of the Vlad relics. So the 5 pieces of Vlad that are required for ending the game are already just in her inventory, so she just has to touch the trigger for this clock room, and then that gets her to the end of the game. You do have to wait for this clock statue cycle thing to move, but other than that, you just go to the end of the game. This elevator brings you up. And the game ends upon killing Shaft. Once you kill Shaft, it gets you to the end credits. There is no final Dracula fight unless you do some crazy cheats or anything like that. So in a standard run, you can't do that. Here we do 4 beasts one more time to increase the damage of our uppercut abilities. Do some movement real quick. Activate the Shaft fight. And then we have to wait for him to get to a specific spot. We then uppercut a couple of times, and he is dead. Very, very quickly, finishing the run in just a little over 7 minutes. Very, very fast. Very, very fast. And then that's it. That's Maria. That's probably the most powerful alternate character in Symphony of the Night by far. Very, very powerful, very tanky, very powerful spells. Saturn exclusive. Very, very few people have ever played as Maria because the Saturn version of the game was Japanese only. So not everybody has access to the game because of that. But yeah, this is a lot of fun. Thanks for allowing me to showcase this for you, and I hope you have a great day. Take it easy.